The dollar's gonna crash. Oh, cash is trash. Oh, oops. It was a lousy second half or first half for the U.S. Investments, except for the U.S. dollar, says the Wall Street Journal. Investors looking for a haven are pushing the dollar to multi-decade highs. What? The dollar's crashing. Send me your cash because cash is trash. This is from the Wall Street Journal. I can't show it to you, but the first half of the year was lousy for most financial assets except for the dollar. It's on pace for its best first half since 2010. But wait a second. The number of dollars printed has gone skyrocketed. How could this be? U.S. dollar index, let's see if I can show this to you. Right there, you can see. Right there, that just basically means it's going up. It's gone from basically 95 to 105. It's up 8% this year so far. And if you put it against a basket of other currencies, it's up even more. Investors seeking refuge from volatile markets have been piling into the dollar as a safe bet. Oh, by the way, you want to see something funny? This kind of cracked me up too. Oops, I guess I can't show it to you. 10-year Treasury is now down to, hold on a second, what was it, 10-year Treasury? 10-year Treasury is at, what the hell is that? Is that 3.7? Wait a second. It was down 3. Okay, so the 10-year Treasury is at 2.85%. That's off 60 basis points. It was at 2.48, the highest, 2.48 minus 3.8 right now. 3.48 minus 2.85, 63 basis points. It's down 25% the yield, which if you look at the price has gone up. I'm not going to say it's competitive. 25% on the upside. I don't know what the price is. I just know when the price goes up, the yields go down. Isn't that interesting? So let's keep reading. But that shows you we're doomed. The dollar's doomed, I tell you. The Federal Reserve aggressive rate increases are also boosting the dollar. What? I thought the rate increases, they were doing that to fight inflation. And does this make any sense? The Federal Reserve aggressive rate increases are boosting the dollar. Everyone says the dollar is getting killed because of inflation and too much spending and too much printing, I should say. And yet they're going to say the aggressive rate increases are boosting the dollar? Huh? That makes no sense because you're like, oh, the dollar should be getting collapsed because inflation is here and it's going to stay here for a long time, is what the mainstream media would say. And yet that's literally not what's happening if they're increasing rates and the people are buying up the dollar. Money managers and hedge funds tend to favor currencies with fast-acting central banks because they believe countries will either keep inflation under control or step in to shore up financial markets when they're in trouble. This is just so freaking stupid because now everyone's worried about recession. So now what is everyone saying? What is the Fed going to do? They're going to reduce interest rates. This is, I bet if you interviewed 100 guys on Wall Street, 90 would say they're going to reduce interest rates probably by the beginning of the year because recession is here. If you gave them true serums. So if they're going to reduce interest rates, what does that do to your current bonds? It makes them go up in value. This is what's happening, man. You can see they're not buying up the dollars and the bonds because of aggressive rate increases. They're buying them up because they see that they're in a recession and they're going to reduce the rates, which means the current value of the bonds will go up in value. Let's see, some guy at BlackRock said the dollar's unpredictable daily swings make it hard to determine which assets to buy and sell. Wasn't that why they're paying you the big bucks there, Rick Riley or Rick Reeder? The persistent strength of the dollar as a reflection of tighter monetary policy and lower global risk tolerance makes you want to stay more cautious in risk taking. For companies doing business across multiple countries, a strong dollar means reviewing their currency exposure. Let's see. Let's keep going. The U.S. dollar functions as the world reserve currency is used for trading commodities in the global economy, which might be on the short end of the stick as we're sending Russia to China to India, BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, Who knows? Maybe in Pakistan. I mean, they're not a huge economy, but you see what I'm saying? I mean, just China, Pakistan, or China, India don't like each other. India doesn't like Pakistan. I'm not sure how Pakistan and China are aligned, but when NATO is advancing into South Korea, Japan, because I didn't know that North Atlantic was in the South Pacific, but apparently it is now. It's weird. Let's see. When a dollar rises sharply, it can hurt America's major trading partners by making their currencies look relatively weak in comparison. That doesn't make sense. That means they export more to us. It makes major trading partners. It can hurt America's major trading partners. That's no. This is the Wall Street Journal. When the dollar rises sharply, it helps countries that rely on exports, which is every other country except the United States. We rely on imports because it makes their products more cheap to import to the United States. That's why we buy. That's why when the dollar's so strong, we have trade balance deficits because we buy more than we export. Okay. At home, a stronger dollar can hit exports by making, well, exports to other countries, by making U.S. products more expensive in overseas markets. Well, that's true, but imports are less. U.S. corporate, whatever. Analysis estimate the Fed's so-called real broad dollar index could reach a new 21st century high by the end of July. Where were now? And the analysts just a couple weeks ago, were they saying the same thing? Let's just read what their final thing here. Hold on a second. But even though the outlook of the U.S. economy remains uncertain, investors contend it's more resilient than other economies, including the UK and Europe. You think? Where high inflation, complete with low growth prospects, and a dying population, could lead to stagflation. All right. Anyway, so there you go. So I guess here's the author is Julia Amber Verlaine. I wonder who Julia Amber Verlaine is. I'm going to look her up, see what her experience is. So she's young and she's cute. Has a BA in foreign languages from Georgetown University, where she graduated in 2009. So, and then she follows Scott Galloway on LinkedIn, and I'm not on Twitter, so I can only imagine what she's on there. And the lady from MSNBC, Stephanie Rule or something like that. I don't know that chick's name, but not the brightest bulb. These people, man. Scott Galloway's a freaking clown. The lady. If you're with MSNBC, you're a clown anyway. But here we go. This is the state of the Wall Street Journal economics reporters here, and this isn't to bash the lady. When I was young and dumb, I made a lot of mistakes too. But I wasn't working at the Wall Street Journal as a primary writer. I was working at Vanguard on the front lines, taking 150, 130 calls a day, educating people on our index funds. That's how I learned. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Anyway, so if she graduated in 2009, so that meant she was born in 1990. So she's 32 years old or something like that. And she's writing premier stuff for the Wall Street Journal. This is what you get nowadays. And she doesn't. I mean, she literally went to Georgetown, so she's a rich girl. Got no qualm with that. I kind of do, I'm not going to lie. But just, there's no experience there. None whatsoever. Real world experience. Just living in Manhattan, probably. Living in France. Following the same clowns. I'm Scott Galloway. Oh, is there anyone more? And just, oh, jeez. All right, so there you go. The dollar's death is, was Twain say, the rumors of my demise are greatly exaggerated. We'll see ya.